Hey there and welcome back to Don't Open That Door. Come along with our triumvirate of terror as we descend into darkness, hurtle into horror, and plunge into peril. If you've ever gotten a great Black Friday deal, you're in the right place. I'm Justin and I need a soundbar for my TV.
I'm Nico and DOTD runs on Duncan, baby.
What the fuck?
Don't ask me what that turned into.
I'm Dana. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's a special episode today. Dan, the holiday season is kicking off proper. We're in full swing. We hoping everyone have a good Thanksgiving, but what are we reviewing for this holiday, Dan?
We're reviewing Thanksgiving.
You're damn right.
It's an okay holiday with a not great past.
Yeah, very problematic for sure.
This one was directed by Eli Roth, starring Nell Verlaque as Jessica, Gabriel Davenport as Scuba, Jalen Thomas Brooks as Bobby, Patrick Dempsey as Sheriff Eric, and Rick Hoffman as Thomas. That's Jessica's dad. So we open in a small town in Plymouth, Mass, which is, let me just say, confusing real quick because Plymouth is both a city and a county. So I'm not sure which one we're in. Well,
Yes.
You can't be a city in a city, I guess. Either way.
Can't be a county in a county either.
Yeah. It's Thanksgiving night and Right Mart, read not Walmart, is starting their Black Friday sales early, like on Thanksgiving night. Jessica, Bobby, Scuba, and some of their friends decide to drop into Right Mart before they hit the movies. Outside of Right Mart, though, there was a raucous Black Friday crowd. I don't know why they're getting this way, but they are. Jessica is actually the daughter of Right Mart's owner, so she's like a total Nepo baby, and she and her friends are able to get inside via a side entrance. The crowd outside sees them and literally fucking riots, causing multiple deaths and a whole bunch of injuries. Bobby, who was a pitcher known as Golden Arm, which is a setup for failure, gets his arm broken, and he straight up just disappears after the catastrophe. Nico, I guess we could call you Golden Lungs, but what happens next?
So 1 year passes and it's Thanksgiving time again. Jessica and her friends are still dealing with everything that happened last year, though, and Right Mart is planning on having another Black Friday sale. Incredibly tone deaf, but economical. Bobby also shows back up. Also, someone dons a pilgrim outfit with a John Carver mask, kills a woman who was part of the Right Mart riot the year before, say that 10 times fast, and hangs her body, specifically her lower half, from the Right Mart sign. Fuck you, Justin. Naturally, this attracts the attention of the cops, and the hunt for the killer is on.
Whenever I gotta hunt down a killer, I always go to Dan for some help. Dan, what happens next?
Ayo, Dan, I know I'm a PI and all, but you just do my fucking job for me.
Yep. Well, the killer kills more people, go figure, that were involved in the riot, and the cops, led by Sheriff Eric, start investigating everybody. They suck, though, and can't catch the killer before he kidnaps two of Jessica's friends and murders one with a saw. The police then hatch a plan to catch the killer during the Thanksgiving Day parade using Jessica, her family, and their friend Scuba. This horribly backfires as the killer shows up to the parade with smoke grenades and kills a couple people, throwing the entire thing into chaos. He then kidnaps Jessica, her family, and Scuba.
No diving, though.
Just so you know, if it had been me, that would have never happened. Now...
Because you don't need a costume to look like a clown?
Whoo, no one's a clown.
Oh.
But you are about to get cooked like Jessica's stepmom. That's right. You see, the killer literally then, like, kidnaps everyone, like Dan said, brings them to his little secret hideout in the cut, and then cooks Jessica's stepmom alive. Like, straight up. Yo, he really must have disliked her. And then murderates one of their friends by, like, banging his head against, like, a thing with a meat tenderizer. Damn. Scuba and Jessica managed to break loose, though. And Scuba's actually injured taking on the killer. He'll be all right, though, trust me. Jessica flees with the killer in hot pursuit. She runs through a field with nettles, this will be mad important in just a sec, and manages to evade the killer. Eventually, she comes across Chief Eric, who's been knocked out, and she sees Bobby dressed up like the killer. She and Chief Eric pursue Bobby, but he manages to get away. Nico, I know you know about things getting away from you. So what happens next?
Back at the station, Jessica is told that everyone will be okay, except for all the dead people, Lamau. But Bobby is still on the loose. So everyone heads out to the hospital, and Jessica realizes that Sheriff Eric has nettles from the field that she just ran through. For the first time in the movie, she thinks for a bit, and then she realizes that Sheriff Eric is the killer. He confesses, saying that his lover was pregnant with his kid and they were both killed in the riot last year. Now, he's about to kill the people responsible and take revenge. Jessica, unfortunately for him, live streams his confession, and now everybody knows.
Indeed. Well, we got to wrap up this Thanksgiving film. Got to wrap this up right. So, Dan, take it away.
Well, Chief Eric moves to kill Jessica, but Billy shows up to save her. Together, they fight Sheriff Eric and try to flee. Eric pursues them, and Jessica fires a musket at an inflatable parade float.
A literal goddamn musket.
Causes an explosion. The cops show up and say that they couldn't find Eric's body, and nobody could have survived that explosion. The movie ends with Jessica having a bad dream about Chief Eric attacking her. The end.
How does this movie look, Justin? Oh, Justin will answer. So here we go.
Justin! You old Pokemon-looking ass.
Yeah, I think this looks just fine. It is exactly what I would like from a slasher in terms of looks. They weren't shying away from the gore in this one, which I like to see. There was a lot of intestines and organs and entrails, all things that are very nutritious. And overall, I like how it looked. Dan, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with Justin there. There's a lot of gore in it, but it was fun. Like, this movie is just a fun movie. You know, it's a slasher that definitely does not take itself seriously. And it was just fun, and I feel like the visuals reflect that. So, yeah, I liked it.
Nico, you got any side dishes to add to the main course we laid down?
I think it looks mostly fine, but there were a few parts where some of the practical effects, like IMO looked kind of bad. Like the first time that we see Golden Hand Pitcherson, his fucking hand gets hammered, and like when it cuts back to him, it's only for like a second or two, but like you can very clearly tell that that's fake and rubber, and it just looks cheesy. That, and there was another time when this cheerleader girl is on a trampoline, and you can like very clearly tell that someone like went into After Effects and like add red blob here on chest where they got stabbed, and I just didn't think it looked very good. But for the rest of the movie, I did like the overall setting and vibes.
The only thing I'll add to that is the biggest suspension of disbelief that this movie required of me was he was like reaching out his arm to go rescue someone, and then someone stepped on his arm and like broke it in such a way. I was like, yo.
Yeah,
like
that shit was broken like a goddamn zigzag.
Yeah, I was like, yo, the way his arm broke, I was like, dude, you were bound for an injury, bro. Like, you were never going to go pro because what the fuck? Your arm is made of paper mache.
Literally, though.
That's something I will agree with Nico on there. Now, in terms of sound, Dan, did it feel like Thanksgiving? Did it feel like a slasher?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it sounded great. The dialogue I enjoyed. There are a couple good one-liners in there, especially Sheriff had a couple good ones near the end. That was fun. I thought the Foley, the gore sound effects sounded good. I liked it. There was a lot of, especially the first like half, I feel like the music choices, I don't know what their budget was, but they used a lot of like commercial music, like just like a couple seconds here and there of like cuts. Overall, I liked the sound direction.
Indeed. Nico, where are you going to go with the sound?
Yeah, I like the way that everyone sort of has this sort of accent and they talk like every goddamn second there's something going on because they're in Boston, you hear? So the movie sounds a little bit like this, but with a better accent because, you know, historically it's been established I'm not too good at those. But here we are.
Yeah, I did find one or two accents to be dubious, and there were one or two dropped accents as well.
Yeah. Patrick Dempsey went like in and out the whole time.
That being said, I do agree with what Dan said. There were some real zingers in this one. Scuba had a couple. My favorite character, who I'm not going to mention his name yet, he had a ton. And I don't know. It was just fun. It was just
My
fun.
favorite zinger for the whole movie, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for a future talking point, but I just love the scene where they're in the classroom and this one little kid stands up and he says something incredibly trite. He's like, and now that's the meaning of Thanksgiving. And like everyone starts clapping and giving him like almost standing ovation levels. And he like gets all of the ladies following him afterwards.
Bro,
he lifts
okay,
up his shirt and
he lifts up his shirt
like fucking abs. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
No, and he's like, that's why I will not be celebrating Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah,
or any year.
Yeah.
And then like the two girls, like hot chicks next to him, they're like all up on him. And then he's like, he goes up to cry and he lifts up his shirt to show his fucking abs. I'm like, bruh, damn pussy destroyer, save some for the rest of us. Jesus Christ. And I was like, yo, what the fuck, man?
That was
what
the best
fuck?
moment in the entire film.
It was pretty good. Yeah. So let me ask the table here. First and foremost, this is a Thanksgiving movie. Is it a good Thanksgiving movie, do you think? Does it appropriately convey the spirit of the holiday?
The spirit of the holiday? No. Because, I mean, I think that's like family getting together, being thankful. And
They did get together. They had a family dinner.
I guess at the end they had the family dinner. That's true. Yeah.
And at the
Maybe
beginning.
not thankful. Well, he does ask them what they're thankful for. All right, so maybe there is a bit of spirit in here. But aside from the spirit, I do think it's a very good Thanksgiving film. I mean, you know, the killer is dressed up as a pilgrim. There's the Black Friday sale is like the huge part. And while that's not Thanksgiving, that has become synonymous with Thanksgiving, essentially. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think it's a great holiday film.
I'd agree with that. For me, one thing that I use to really judge is like, could I see myself there? Does it seem realistic? And it does for the most part. The only thing that I think has maybe changed, I would say over the last decade or so, Black Friday's really chilled out a lot because there's a lot online now. So
Cyber Monday and all.
Yeah, so now you're fighting the virtual crowds instead of the in-person crowds a lot of the time. That's just something I've noticed over the years. But Nico, you agree? Holiday?
Yes, but I also think that for the most part, the writing is good enough that I could also see this just like happening even outside of the context of Thanksgiving. Like I could imagine there being a serial killer doing similar things like any time of the year. And I think that might sound like it's a point against the movie, but I think it's actually a point for the movie, because a lot of times I think these holiday movies really sort of rely on the shtick, but IMO, this one, it kind of stands on its own even outside of the context, I think.
Agreed. And let's go ahead and dive in here real quick. Do you think this movie, first off, where does it rank amongst the slashers we've seen? And also, do you think this draws any inspiration from any slashers in particular?
I mean, it's hard to not say Black Christmas, because that's another big holiday movie that's also a slasher and arguably like one of the most important slashers.
Fair. Where's the rank for you, though? Is it like mid-tier, low-tier? You don't got to give me like a number, but is it up there? Is it low? Like, where is it for you?
I'm
tier.
Not quite sure yet.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Gonna keep your powder dry. Dan, how about you? Any inspirations you see, and where's it rank?
Yeah, I see inspiration from My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is like My Bloody Valentine if My Bloody Valentine was actually good.
Yeah, and just Thanksgiving themed. I mean, you know, we get the whole tragedy happens on holiday, come back the next year. Oh, no, you shouldn't celebrate this holiday anymore. Oh, wait, but we're going to, haha, you know, whatever kind of thing. I'm going to kill you if you know, whatever. I put this movie at like a mid-tier. I had a lot of fun. It's not breaking barriers. It's not doing anything super new and innovative, I don't think, which is why it's not really on high tier, but it's not trying to. It's just fun slasher, and it does a good job at that.
Yeah, I was going to say for sure My Bloody Valentine, because in addition to what Dan said, There's also a love triangle where literally it's some dude leaves and then comes back.
Oh,
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Like that's entirely a thing as well. And also just generally speaking, I found elements of Scream in this as well. And this is going to sound kind of silly, but
Ooga booga
there's a
booga.
bit of Grindhouse in this, which I'll come out and say this movie was originally a trailer. That when they did,
I feel like every movie is originally
well,
a
no,
trailer.
hear
at
me
some
on this
point.
now. Hear me on this now. So when they did like Planet Terror and this one other one, it was like they did a whole Grindhouse thing. I think Robert Rodriguez was involved, and they put out like trailers for movies that didn't really exist and were never going to come out. So they had one for like Machete, right? Which ended up becoming a movie eventually. And they had one or two other ones. And this one was originally a trailer, just a trailer, a fun trailer they put together for a Grindhouse movie. And I think that's kind of funny because they actually ended up making the movie. And it's actually, it's decent, I thought. So yeah, in terms of where this ranks for me, I agree with Dan. I think this is a solid mid-tier one. And he's right. I literally talked to Nico on the phone before the pod. And I said, this to me is like not trying to reinvent the wheel at all. It's just solid. It just, hey, we know what we want to do and we execute it. So I could see that. And speaking of execution here, do you have a favorite? We'll start with this. Do you have a favorite kill? If so, what is it?
I think my favorite kill is the one that really set the tone for me. There's a scene early on where a woman is trying to escape a fast food restaurant?
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
first one.
Diner.
The diner. And first off, instead of immediately running away out of the exit door, she goes into a closet and just kind of fucks around for a little bit. So one, that was dumb, but two, she runs for safety as she's being pursued by the killer into a garbage bin, like one of those industrial ones outside the backs of shops. And the lid fully fucking bisects her hamburger style, which absolutely would not fucking happen at all, even close to it. So I was like, okay, this is going to be more than a little ridiculous, huh? All right, cool.
Hey, man, don't knock it till you try it. Now, Dan,
Okay, I'll drive.
do you have a favorite kill?
I was going to say that same one Nico mentioned for pretty much the same reasons because, that's where, the intro, like Black Friday thing, you're like, okay, I kind of know what this movie's going to be like. But that kill specifically, you're like, all right, this is what this movie's doing, But to do something different, I will say the Jessica's stepmom when she gets...
Oh, stop! I'm going to go before you from now on, but keep going.
when she gets cooked alive.
I do like that they added seasoning to the white woman.
Yeah, true. But I like it because of the reason that Nico gave, not the seasoning part, but his like reaction, because all the other kills are just fun and whatever, but this one I was like, it was visceral. Like, she's like in the oven. They show like a good amount of it too, and she's in the oven and like trying not to touch like parts of the oven, which of course she can't not touch it, but like that whole like 2 minutes or something, I was like, oh my God, like it was really visceral. Very different tonal shift, I think, from the other kills, but that was probably my second favorite.
I will say that was mine as well, Dan, because that was maybe something that I didn't expect. And it's so meticulous. At the start, he literally seasons her, he bastes her, got the herbs and the garlic and everything ready to go, and then sticks her in that oven and she literally cooks.
Let her
Cook!
And then when she gets out, he literally starts carving off pieces of her. She's like a turkey on the table. I haven't seen something like that when it comes to cooking people. Here's a throwback. I haven't seen something like that
How often do you see people cooking, bro?
Since Miles Doliak's movie.
The dinner party, yeah.
The Dinner Party. That,
Shout out to you, Miles. Hope you're doing well.
yeah. And I hope that, I let me not take that. Let me not say that. I think that was something that just ratcheted it up a level. And you're right. It seemed not mean-spirited because he's a fucking killer, but like everything else was kind of But in terms of like, oh, like he kills them, cool. It's a cool kill. It's fun. This was like evil. Like he literally baked a bitch. Like that never happens. So yeah, for sure.
Hashtag bake a bitch.
Can that be our title?
No, we can't.
So
we have to find something better. That's our mission. Before the end of this episode, we've got to find something better than that.
Well, while we're looking for that, do you have a favorite scene and character outside of the kills?
I guess my backup favorite scene is for similar absurd reasons. This is sort of a callback to something we haven't nitpicked about in actually quite a while, I'm happy to say. There was one scene, I think, in between her being cooked and her being served, someone else dies. It's either that or immediately before, but he fucking gets someone with an electric carving knife, and the way that he does it, he's like crouching down or lying down on the floor, and he like angles and jerks the thing back up into the victim to the point that the victim would have clearly fucking seen him there. And then the camera shifts and, oh, where'd he go? Oh man, he's vanished into thin air. Like, okay, really? So that was my other favorite.
Fair enough. Dan, did you have, and character, Nico?
My favorite character, I think, was Patrick Dempsey as Chief Sherrick McDreamy from Grey's Anatomy.
Chief Sherrick,
if words are hard.
Dan, favorite scene, favorite character?
So my favorite scene, Nico's already said, which was the ripped high school dude.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about that a few minutes ago. So second favorite scene, I think, was maybe just after, immediately following the Nico's scene he just mentioned. If it's the same one I'm thinking of, one of the characters, he kills the character and then they have a cat.
Yeah.
And like, as soon as, like, as the killer's leaving, he notices the cat and they just like stare at each other. And then, and I was like, oh, he's going to feed the cat. So he like feeds the cat and then like, you know, pets it real quick and then just like leaves. And that was a good one.
Class act.
My favorite character is Scuba, only because they describe why his nickname is Scuba, because his last name is Dibing. And I just thought that was fucking hilarious.
And also what's your name? Claude. Yeah, Scuba's better.
Yeah.
Which everyone just immediately agrees to.
So my favorite character, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to say it's the McCarty clan, which is basically the elder McCarty and then this younger one. I think I might be his younger brother or something.
I think it's father son.
I don't know. So there was a kid, I think his name was Jason. He's like the guy he's the bouncer at the party. He's like, yo, Jason, take the VIP,
gotcha,
VIP.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like, I don't know if that's his little bro or that's just a random dude, but I'm counting him in the clan. And this guy, McCarty, is fucking hilarious. He goes to the high school
funny.
and he pulls up and he's like, maybe you guys need some protection or something. And they're like, dude, did you come to sell guns at a high school? He's like, dude, I would never. I came here to sell booze and invite you to my party. Tickets are going fast. And I was like, yo. And you think they're kind of making him out to just be like, you know, a jerk or something. But then he actually does care. Like, he's like, hey guys, like, I really want you to live. Like, please come back alive. And he like actually stops them and he's like, here, take this, man. Like, just take this. Like, he's a good dude. And he's there at the end too. He shows up at the very end to help them again.
It's got a surprising amount of disguised gun safes.
Yeah.
Motherfucker had a guitar case. He had one of the old stereo cabinets. He had some other shit. Like, dude was stacked.
That was my favorite scene where they go upstairs and he's having this house party. There's like kids throwing up. He's like, satisfied customers. And then they go upstairs and these kids are like just zonked. And he's like, yeah, dude, they drank too much. I don't know what he called out, but he's like, they drank too much. I'm going to let them chill for a bit. And they're looking at like a TV that just isn't showing anything. And then they go into the room and there's like a million gun safes and he tries to pass him like a magnum. He's like, you get bonus points if you see like a dirty hairy line. I'm like, dude.
My two favorite parts about that scene is you mentioned the kid on the couch. He was like,
Yeah,
he drank too much white Zinfandel, which is a wine. And it's just like, it's not even like a hard liquor or anything, you know? And then also, he's like, you mentioned Jason, I think it was like the little brother, maybe the bouncer kid. He's like, Jason, take him to the private room. And they walk into the private room. He's like, the private room's open. As soon as they all get in, he's like, private room's closed. Like, the fuck is the point of even saying that?
I also like that he, at first, kicks them off of his property because they didn't know who Ronnie James Dio is.
Yeah.
Oh, those kids were still kicked off.
Different kids. Yeah,
those are different kids.
Oh, those were, sorry, yeah.
But still, yeah.
Yeah, like who would have thought, you know, when Black Sabbath got rid of Ozzy Osbourne, but then all of a sudden Dio shows up and then this kid's like, who's Black Sabbath? He's like, yo, get the fuck off my property right now. I was like, yo. But that's reality nowadays. So I thought it was cool. Now, I want to ask you guys this. This has been greenlit for a sequel. In fact, more than greenlit. The script has already been dropped off and the movie's due to come out next year, 2025.
Oh, wow.
What do we think could possibly go into the sequel? What would it be like?
Honestly, I kind of hope it's more of the same. I hope it's just another fun slasher. I think Chief, what's his name? Sheriff Eric can come back. They clearly left that open. You know, and maybe he works with somebody else. They pull a Scream and he works with, you know, it's two people. Maybe somebody else was wronged or something and they team up
I originally
together.
kind of thought that's what was going on with him and the pitcher kid.
Yeah.
Before he said that, like, he drugged him and set him up as the killer.
Yeah. And also keep in mind, Dan, you're right. They totally left it open for that. But also, they're going to college now. So that could
They
open
might
up
actually
a whole...
look age appropriate for once. Because they straight up do not look like high schoolers at all.
Yeah, I mean, these are all people in their mid-20s. So that's interesting. Also, like, quick shout out. I hate to be that guy, but like, there was another friend, we didn't name her. She was apparently some kind of Russian chick. I only say that because I thought her dad was like a Russian mob boss or something from the way he was talking. Yo, she got fucking like bandsawed in half. I was like, oh my God.
That was another one that, like, that's not how that fucking works, y'all. Those have stoppers in them whenever they detect that they're about to cut something that is not, like, meant to be cut, especially human flesh. They just automatically stop. So that buzzshot did that bullshit that she was doing, splattering raspberry syrup everywhere. No, that is completely impossible and improbable. I'm sorry.
Also, her dad had the right fucking idea, though.
Let's go to Florida.
Get in the Mercedes. Where are we going? Florida. Damn right you are.
Yeah. I agree with you, Dan. I think a sequel should be more of the same. You mentioned Scream. I also mentioned Scream. And I think this has the potential to get a little meta.
Yeah.
And I wholly think that they should do it. I think Eli Roth is a good guy to be directing it. So here's hoping. Nico, is there anything else you would dash into a sequel?
Yeah, I mean, the ending was very Halloween-esque, especially in reference to the 2018 Halloween where he gets burned alive and everyone's like, surely there's no way he'll live through that. Amongst other such icons who have been burned alive like Freddy Krueger et al. So the way I see it, we're going to have Patrick Dempsey come back, but instead of wearing a mask, his flesh is going to be contorted into the face of John, whatever the fuck his name is, the like OG Thanksgiving bro, Pilgrim,
Carpenter.
whatever. Yeah.
That's a good shout because, man, I just put something together. I think they're going to do that actually because when he's about to cook the mom, he's wearing the mask and he puts it on the oven. And when he puts it on the oven, I was like, yo, that oven's got to be hot as shit. And the mask half melts, half of the mask melts. And he puts it back on. So he does, like, while he's wearing that mask, half of his face is melted. And I was waiting for some sort of meaning in that. And I couldn't really find anything. Maybe I missed it or something. But if there is a sequel, he did go through a fire. I think you're right. Like, his face might be fucked up from that. And I think that might be foreshadowing that.
Potentially, yeah.
Nico is like that character in our party that doesn't hit the enemy very often, but when he does, it's like always a crit. So yeah, Nico, see, that makes up for last week. Well done, Nico. Well done. Round of applause. Round of applause.
I think I actually ended up the most fine out of everybody there, to be fair.
So we've talked through the movie now. I got to ask you, what would you do?
Fucking quit retail.
Well, Dan's done it too.
We've all done retail, yeah.
Have you worked on a Black Friday? You done Black Friday shit?
I have not done Black Friday, no.
Bro, working at a fucking clothing store named Barshall's on Black Friday, bro, the fucking shit. But I gotta ask, let's say we are living in this town and somehow maybe we were going to the movies and we just stopped by for some unknown reason X, and now this killer's targeting us. How would you defend yourself against this guy?
Gun.
Yep.
Gun, just like that?
Yeah.
He can sneak around though.
Yeah, he can sort of instant transmission himself as previously evidenced. So, that's a good question. I'm not sure how I would navigate that scenario other than just taking the Russian dad's advice and getting the fuck out of Dodge entirely.
That's fair. Dan, how about you?
I'll pull a Home Alone, just set up traps everywhere,
True.
and then just like wait for him to come get me.
Get a turkey baster and like fill it with hydrochloric acid or some shit.
Yeah.
See, I personally feel like he can't fuck with people when they're like teamed up. He's good at like one-on-ones,
I
but
don't know. He ran into the middle of a fucking parade
Yeah, he did.
with like hundreds of people around and cops everywhere.
they weren't ready. And
Oh, so he got a surprise round?
yeah, he did. He did actually. And yo, when he walked up and straight up chopped that man's head off just so, I was like, yo, wait a second.
Oh, my favorite part is the fucking post goes to that one dude's head. I was
Yo,
like,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, right.
he
Like,
caught a
holy
stray, bro.
shit.
He caught a stray.
Bro, that's like a fucking stage kill. Like when you play Injustice and all of a sudden like you smack
Bro.
a motherfucker and like a tentacle hits you. The troll shit that's happened to Nico in that game. But no, real talk, yeah.
I got PTSD from Lex Luthor, bro.
Lex Luger. But no. Either way, that's a good shout, Dan. I would team up with you guys and be like, yo, let's just like hang out for a couple
Stomp
days.
him out.
And then when he comes through, stomp him out, bro. Because I feel like by our powers combined, like I got the kunai and the knife them on deck. So like I'm ready for the close counter shit.
You got the cuckery.
The cuckery too, bro. Always.
Nope, not that.
And then
nope, not
It's
that.
a blade. It's an edged weapon.
Yeah, I'm sure
Oh,
there's a
it's
lot of
edged.
edging involved, Justin. I'm
Oh
sure.
my- you guys are bringing down the standard of the podcast with your dirty
We're
minds.
bringing down the standard. Okay. Bold claims here tonight from Justin's corner.
Now, Nico has like the tactical retreat and Dan has the knowledge
I am
for
the
traps.
only one of us with a car, so yeah.
I'm putting it out there, bro. You could tactically leave for him to chase you, and then he could run into one of Dan's traps.
I just gotta go wicked slow, like at the end of Texas
just
Chainsaw
thinking that.
Massacre.
That is a tactical leave right there.
No, like Nico would be like eating some food. Tesla, drive me away as fast as possible. Okay, Nico.
I just like have a bowl of pho and I'm ghost riding the whip as he takes me down.
Listen, dear listener, this is about the 50th time we've referenced that scene in the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's the only good part of that movie.
I swear to you, if you go back and watch that movie, you will not be able to watch that with a straight face. I don't give a shit who you are. There's no way you could do that.
Absolute zero chance.
Good stuff overall. Good stuffing, maybe.
Ah,
Whoa, whoa. Now, oh my God, I was going to say for the intro, my boy's wicked smart. Damn it. Either
There
way.
you go.
came over on the Mayflower.
I tried to take over for you. Didn't quite work out there. But I tried.
Coming over for dinner.
Oh,
Could park the car by Harvard Yard.
what do you guys think this has on Rotten Tomatoes? Shut the fuck up.
Bro, when Patrick Dempsey was like, the cell phone signal is coming from whatever pack. I fucking died.
Oh, the tunnels under here?
Yo, the waitress, she had one or two like that too, though.
Yeah.
All right, you little shits ready to order?
This isn't, what'd she say? This isn't
right, my fellas.
It's like, yo, what the fuck? That's rude as shit. She's like, hey, we're ready to order. I fucking have to wait. Like, whoa.
And then she came back, she was all chummy.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
Either way, it's time to take this to the critic review. And what do you think this has on Rotten Tomatoes? Give me your best guess.
So, I think fairly obviously, to some degree, like this movie, but a lot of what we've been talking about is pretty fucking dumb. So I'm gonna say that it's got a nice 69.
All right, Dan?
I'm going to say it has like an 80. I feel like everyone watching knew what it was and, aren't judging it based on not that.
Well, Dan, you get a double crown for this one.
Ooh.
Because the critics had it at 84%, so you win there. And the audience had it at 79%. So,
Okay.
yeah, very good.
Okay.
Very good. Nico, you have lost my favor, and you have best hope to win
Never
it
had it.
at the next
Let's be real.
guess. Now, what do you think, though? What do you think about this one?
Well, first, I think we should all go around the pod and say, what are we thankful for? And Justin, you'll start.
That should have been the what would you do, God damn it.
It's okay.
No, I mean, I'm thankful that this podcast is going for two great co-hosts, and I really, really, really am future thankful for this dope soundbar that I will eventually get.
Dan, how about you?
I'm thankful that I haven't been axed yet.
There you go. Classic.
Well, I'm thankful for I'm obviously thankful for you, Dan.
Oh, well
Thanks.
done.
Thanks, Nico.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well
Here
done.
for you, buddy.
Yeah, of course.
So what do you think this gets from yous guys? This is such a bad fucking episode. What do you guys think this gets?
This movie's dumb, but I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna give this a 78.
Yeah, this movie's dumb fun. I'm going to give it an 83.
This movie is dumb fun. I'm going to give it an 80.
Yeah, that's about right.
We're fucking aligned here, lads. So I guess I got to say, we recommend this one?
Yep.
I didn't think I was going to. I'm gonna be honest with you, but yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So, dear listener, if you're chowing down, this is going to come out before Thanksgiving. So chow down on some turkey. Maybe slide this into your DVD, VHS. It's on Netflix, guys. It's on Netflix. Now, is this going to get any kind of golden seal?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, I don't think so. So there you have it. It is going to get a recommendation. Not quite golden seal worthy, but you should still check it out. Definitely still check it out. And if you want to give us a very nice Thanksgiving hello, you can. We're on X and Instagram at DOTD Horror. We're on Facebook. That's Don't Open That Door. Plus, check everything we've done on our website, which is dotdhorror.com. But till next time, be thankful for the good things in life. Look out for one another. But as always, dear listener,
Don't open that door.
all of that. Bye.